Hello, this is Sia Kritikos, and I'm going to start with a joke today. Once there were four businessmen. They were sitting on a bench in a hospital waiting room because their wives were having babies. A nurse comes over and says to the first businessman, "Congratulations, your wife had one baby." The man says, "What a coincidence, I am the president of and one." The nurse goes away. Then the nurse comes back and says to the second businessman, "Congratulations, your wife had twins." The man says, "What a coincidence, I am the owner of the Minnesota Twins." The nurse goes away. The nurse comes back and says to the third businessman, "Congratulations, your wife had triplets." The man says, "What a coincidence, I work for Triple Crown." The nurse goes away. The nurse comes back and sees the fourth businessman alone on the bench crying. She asks, "Why are you crying?" The man replies, "I work for 7-Up." Hello, Sia Kritikos again. Happy New Year's! Listen, how's your New Year coming out so far? I know it's early, and I thought I would create this video because statistics show that 95% of the people that create New Year's resolutions have already broken it by today. That is even if you have made a New Year's resolution. And if you are still going strong, I have to say keep rocking it, okay? However, if you've given up, I'm here to assist you not only in recovering it, but to make that New Year's resolution of yours a success. If you think about it, many people don't even make a New Year's resolution anymore. Why? Because they have been making them for years, and they have given up on every one of them, and they know they are not going to follow through. So why disappoint yourself by starting something which you know you will not finish? If you are the sort of individual that is listening right now and you haven't shut me off already, then obviously that is not you. The most important question is, what is it that even wants us to make a New Year's resolution? We all know that it goes beyond a tradition, and perhaps starting afresh on the calendar year is what gives us the incentive. Yet the true reason is that we understand deep down inside that creating progress in our lives is what we want. Creating progress equals happiness. And in the beginning of the year, we get enthusiastic about taking charge. I'm going to do this. I'm going to change something big. Yet, if you think about it, that change might be good, but ultimately it is about progress. Change always follows progress. It is in the nature of life. We get older, our bodies change, our relationships change, the economy changes, and no matter what we do, things change. One thing I have learned in life is that success is not an accident. One cannot by chance accomplish their dreams, lose 20 pounds, or have excellent relationships if they do not have a mission. Progress does not change. We must take control of the procedure. We must have a vision, a mission, a strategy, and take action. Let's say you are at the beach. You are floating on water, and you fall asleep. Before you know it, the tide is taking you away somewhere. And that is how it is in life. If we do not have a goal, a strategy, we will not end up in the right place. Without goals, we cannot measure our success. Without goals, we become easily distracted and we lose focus. In the business world, we have a mission statement, which explains the purpose of the organization. In life, you need to have your own mission statement. Write it down. What is your purpose? What is your mission in life? What do you dream about? For every aspect of your life, you must have a mission statement. Or whether it is in your business, your life, soccer team, or raising children, no matter what it is, you need to have a clear-cut plan. This is what we are about. These are our goals, and this is what we plan on achieving said goals. Do not live life ambiguously and without purpose, hoping to get what you dream in life, because you will miss your destiny, and life will take you anywhere it decides, much like the tides of the ocean. You will miss your true destiny and what you were created for. One must distinguish between a dream and a desire. I remember being a child. I used to dream about being a stewardess. which for me was a fantasy. However, I lived out in the sense I grew up in restaurant business and I served people. But there are dreams that are put in us by the creator of this universe. The word desire in Latin means from the Father. The desires that are put in your heart and the way that you distinguish them is that the desire will never leave you. It keeps coming at you and it never really goes away. You know it is real when you let go of it, but it does not let go of you. You do your best to ignore it, you push it away, and it keeps coming at you repeatedly. I have had people say to me that they wanted to start a business or that they wanted to get out of debt. However, if one does not have a plan, a strategy to follow through with their true destiny, their dream just becomes a wish. Faith without actions is dead. 95% of individuals do not have a goals program, and they never accomplish their dreams. In 1953, they interviewed the graduating class of Yale, and they asked the class how many of them had goals with a strategy and how they were going to accomplish those goals. Less than 3% had a written set of goals. 10 years later, they decided to follow up on these students. And they had discovered that the individuals that had written goals were not only more happy in life, but they were more productive and had greater incomes than the 97% that did not have goals combined. Why is that? They were focused, they had purpose, and went out daily with a mission, a strategy to be a success. I would encourage you to write down your goals, your dreams, your purpose in life. Something happens to a person whenever they write down their goals. They begin to take action when they do it. It initiates the strategy. Place those goals where you can see them on a daily basis. Chunk them down. Make short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. Break them down, and in this way you make them easier to do. In the business world, many do their best to make things easier. They set up an assembly line. They break down. You do this project, you do this. One person cannot do everything at once, but if they break it down into a simple solution, there is a greater chance of success. Sometimes you might find a bottleneck. This is a hindrance, a block. It is something that is preventing you from achieving your goal. You have to alter the strategy. Alexander the Great would go to a country with about 6 to 7 strategies to ascertain his success. Whatever the case may be, one has to have an alternate strategy to ascertain success in life. And for each strategy that does not work, one discovers another method that will not do or will help them in being a success. It took Thomas Edison 1,000 times to figure out a way to create a light bulb. The key is to never give up and to alter the strategy to accomplish the mission. It takes resolution, resolve to make a difference in life. The Vikings had a specific method in making sure that they would win. They would burn their boats as soon as they would land on an island. This put them in a position to take control of the island. The very first step to creating a change is a vision. We begin with a resolution. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to stop smoking. The problem with this is, it is not very inspiring for people. It does not state what you are going to get. It states what you are not going to do, and it is very difficult. A vision is about what you are going to create. A vision that really works is that it gets you excited. If you say that you're going to lose X number of pounds, stop smoking, it's okay, but it is not compelling. You must have something that has the power to pull you, not something that you have to push yourself to do. There are 2 different types of motivation. There is push, which requires willpower, and willpower never lasts. What will last is pull, having something so strong that it pulls you into that direction. Something exciting, something that gets you your desires so much, that gets you excited. You wake up in the morning and you are excited to take that goal to the next level. Great, that isn't easy to get. But why do we do seminars? Why do we do events? Why not read a book alone? Because being surrounded by a bunch of individuals excited has a bigger impact than reading a book. Like whenever you go to a sporting event, it is a bigger difference on you than watching that game at home. You are surrounded by 50,000 people who are pumped and excited, and it has a different level of intensity. And the bottom line, it has to do with the level of your emotional intensity. You get a better vision instead of sitting at home the day after New Year's and deciding, what am I going to do now for the New Year's resolution? You have a hangover. Football game is going on behind you. More than likely, you will not be focused to do anything. You won't have the power or the energy to do something that will pull you for the new year. So it has to be something compelling, something that will be a gift to you. You also have a strong enough reasons that will help you follow through. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. That is a crucial component to following through with a vision, a mission. Many people say they want to do something, but they do not have strong enough reasons to take that next step in success. Whenever you're on a diet and you're starving, or whenever the economy is down and your finances are taking a hit, you give up on your goal because you do not have enough reasons to find the alternative. You do not allow fear to take you over if you have strong enough reasons. Those reasons could be, if I don't do this, the obesity can kill me. And if I do this, this is what I'm going to gain in life. Reasons come first and answers come second. If you have strong enough reasons, you might fall for a bit, but you will get back on that horse and move forward. And I know that you have done this during some period in your life. I'm not teaching you anything new. I'm reminding you. For example, do you remember wanting something so bad that you could just taste it? You had to do it, you had to get it, whatever it was. It motivated you to take action to get what you wanted. So if you want to really alter something in your life, the greatest thing you could do for yourself is to associate enough pain to staying in the position you are in. In other words, envision yourself having achieved said goals and how you would feel about yourself. Finally, envision not having achieved those goals and how terrible you feel about that. If you are trying to lose weight, put a picture of yourself on the refrigerator. One where you are thinner and another one right next to it where you're fat. Tell me that won't give you incentive. Or if you want more money in life, create a vision board with everything that you want, and then create a poverty board of you in the position you are in today. I really feel that the yin and the yang are going to take a hit here. However, the wrongness of a situation is the motivating fuel behind any action that you take to alter something in your life. Pain equals gain. Well, I'm going to do something that I haven't done in my videos. Because sometimes you do need a coach. You need somebody to put that fire underneath your ass to get you moving. Yes, I said the word ass. Excuse me. But I'm giving you my number here, my contact number. And if you need, if we talk and you need a coach, I will be here for you. Okay?
They're that fabulous family of singing brothers with the sounds that make you feel good, and they've won all the awards tonight, the Winans.